Well, welcome to Technology and Education Today. I'm Richard Smith.
And I'm Caroline Crawford, and we are coming to you from the University of Houston Clear Lake in Houston, Texas, USA.
And today we are discussing constructivism versus direct instruction with particular reference to online courses. Caroline, what's your preference?
My preference is all of the above. However,
Okay, all of the above.
I can't stand when people, and again, my soapbox, in a constructivist learning environment, if people do not offer a knowledge base before focusing upon each of the higher order thinking skills, it drives me crazy. The whole, well, just go figure it out aspect drives me nuts. You need a knowledge base before you can start framing anything. And then there's a whole cognitive load issue that also drives me crazy. Not knowing, being a novice as regards any subject matter, not knowing the information, being a novice, and then trying to figure it out especially within a new learning environment such as an e-learning environment, there's enough cognitive concerns, overload, basically, when you're trying to learn the information. And then layering on top of just trying to understand and learn the information and understand the information, layering on top of that an environment where go figure it out and you'll know it when you see it, drives me crazy.
Well, that's that whole business of constructing your own knowledge rather than saying that there is some objective knowledge that the students could gain through direct observation or instruction from somebody else.
But that's just poor instruction. Even within a constructivist framework. Okay.
There's a lot of people.
Within a constructivist framework, there's still the basic knowledge level that needs to be attained before jumping into the other constructivist realms.
I don't think a lot of constructivists would argue about that.
But they would.
They would.
Absolutely. Which drives me crazy. It's like, I'm sorry, but you're just a poor instructor. You're giving no understanding to your learners before you start delving further into subject matter. They have no concept of what's going on. You're just a poor instructor. Congratulations. Well done to you.
It seems like they're actually asking the students to, rather than construct their own knowledge or their own version of the knowledge, is in essence to reinvent the wheel and to go over things that have
Why are you being paid as an instructor if you're not even doing the job?
Because it feels good. You feel
and
as
that's
if you're doing
adorable,
a lot
but
more.
you're not meeting the learning objectives, instructional objectives, whatever you want to call them.
Okay, so that's a conflict because we know at the high school level, if you're teaching an online school course, there are definite instructional objectives that the teacher must teach. There are what we call in Texas the essential elements. Those
that are on the standardized exams,
right.
And all it's basically saying is the student needs to come out of the situation understanding this information and being able to use this information.
And in a face-to-face class, I can see where constructivist techniques would be popular and very appealing because the instructor does not provide that direct instruction, that direct access to knowledge, and is no longer the sage on the stage, becomes the guide on the side, which I've been hearing for the last 30 years or so. But in doing that, it sort of gets the instructor off target, or gets the students off target, because there is a body of knowledge that has to be learned, particularly at the high school level, and of course at the university
at any level
also.
Any decent instructional designer knows that. You have learned, one of the first things you do, what are the learning objectives? What is it you need the learner to be able to accomplish when they're walking out of here? It's kind of a duh.
But the complication, I think, at the online course level is that if you have a constructivist type of course, it makes the course a lot more difficult to put together, and it makes the tracking of the students and the involvement of the students a lot more complicated to achieve.
More complex, yes.
It's just because rather than presenting information, explaining how to understand that information, and providing tasks for the students to do it step by
Basic
step.
Bloom's taxonomy, higher order thinking skills. You start out with the knowledge and then progress forward.
And instead of doing that, the students have to form their opinions about what might be from the information that they have at hand, construct their own
Developing an
knowledge
understanding as well as reframing and reorganizing the information.
in relationship to other students and in relationship to past
Instructor
knowledge
checks.
and instructor checks. It gets very complicated, and I think that can become very frustrating for students in an online course, and that's one of the reasons that I designed my courses to be very direct instruction oriented. That doesn't mean all the students have is lecture after lecture. In fact, they have no lectures.
On the other hand, in an e-learning environment especially, students adore your classes. They know exactly what the expectations are. And if they want to go further with whatever the topic is and enhance their understandings, they're freely available to do so, and it is part of the assignment to do so.
Yes.
But they still know exactly what's going on, what is expected of them, and the procedures to follow.
They know what to expect. They know how to travel through the course, and they can feel themselves learning the information step by step, and then the higher order thinking skills are taken care of within the course as the assignments increase in complexity. So from that point of view,
I'll give you that, absolutely. But a lot of it depends upon the subject matter as well. I'm much more, people say that I am constructivist in nature, but I disagree. I start out with behaviorist and cognitivist. Okay, I'll see that. I see those correlations. But it's all about Bloom's taxonomy, starting out with the knowledge base and then moving up into a more creative, whether we're talking about Bloom's or Anderson and Krathwohl's digital age, higher order thinking skills realm. Starting out, you have to know the knowledge. Now let's start working with a little more towards the creativity, the heightened level of analysis and usage of the information within the subject area.
And I think if you check the research, you'll find that direct instruction, especially in an online course, is a lot more efficient. It takes a lot less time to achieve those objectives or get the students to understand what they need to learn than it would take for students who are involved in a course which is far more constructivist based or student led.
Well, at least myself, I understand. I can't stand being in a learning environment where it's all kind of warm, fuzzy, figure it out as you go. Tell me what I got to know. Just tell me what I have to know so that I can move on and think about the information and use it appropriately. Don't give me this whole idiot, well, what do you think? I don't care what I think. You're being paid to tell me the information, and then I'll tell you what I start thinking about, and then you can correct my understanding.
I think I got it. And I think we've reached the end of another issue of technology and education today. I'm Richard Smith.
I'm Caroline Crawford. And again, we're coming to you from the University of Houston Clear Lake in Houston, Texas, USA. Bye!